Yeah, so with the Endeavour stuff you do, you're saying that you have two sides of it. You have your lodge thing that you've got here,
Yes, the lodge.
and you've got your safari side of it.
Yeah.
In terms of the lodge side, let's talk about that bit first. So, is this somewhere that you've sort of built yourself, or somewhere that you've adapted? And
Yeah, so when we moved out of London, obviously, reassessing our life and what we were doing, and so we were looking for something that gave us a business opportunity, so I didn't have to commute up to London
yeah,
every day, which I might have done for a while, but I think it would have half killed me. I don't know how people do it. But we did find this place that had effectively an annex on the home, so it was previously I suppose, the old-fashioned granny annex for previous owners, in-laws, and we converted it into a self-contained holiday let. We lived in it then for a while ourselves, whilst our side of the house, as we call it, we needed to gut and completely renovate, and when that was then done, we moved out of the annex. We were able to open it up and offer it as a holiday let for people. So it's got 3 double rooms. 2 are upstairs, which are not accessible, but the downstairs is. It's got a lovely, nice big wet room. It's got a profiling bed. It's a slightly split level on the ground floor, but we've got it's a lift that converts to stairs and vice versa.
oh wow,
So it's fully accessible from that point of view,
that's cool.
and all flat to the outside and everything. So we had the idea because when we were coming down to stay with family that year, we thought, oh, it'd be nice to kind of just go away, not somewhere too far, but just a couple of days, and the places that I knew about in the local area were all booked up. And there's a huge demand and not enough facility for people, so we thought, well, that was a nice business opportunity for us.
Yeah, definitely.
Plus also offering a service to people that need it.
Yeah. So with the place itself, did you find with like adapting it, for wheelchair users, was there any particular sort of hurdles or any sort of things you had to sort of think about
Well,
when
in a
you were doing
sense,
it?
effectively, I adapted it for me
Yeah.
initially because we were living in it, to start with. So again, it's kind of, you get to learn over the years what works and doesn't work,
Yeah.
and everybody's disabilities are different, and there are some disabilities, and we haven't got a ceiling hoist, for example, but we do get in a mobile hoist for people if that's what they need. So we may not meet everybody's needs, but I think pretty much 95% of people have got a mobility disability that we can accommodate. Plus also it's got the extra space for other family or carers as well to accompany people on holiday. So in terms of what we put in, it was making it for just as much for me as to a client in that sense.
That's good. Yeah. So what sort of obviously you've had people in there over the years. How's it been from their
It's going
perspective?
really well.
Yeah.
This year we're busier than ever. And we've got returning guests, which is always a positive.
Yeah.
It's gone well, but we've had hugely positive feedback from people, and it's a great location. Here in Poole, it's 20 minutes from about 3 different beaches in 3 different directions. It's not far from the Purbeck, so you can go explore the lovely countryside. Beautiful, New Forest, only half an hour away. So it's a lovely location, and slightly out of town, so it's slightly semi-rural as well.
Yeah, because you can easily just come into. It's not very big here in terms of distance from. So you got the sea, obviously, so it's not really round place. It's quite a bit of a dome. So you're easily in the countryside or by the beach or in town. So it's a really great area to live in. It's a bit different to where I live in the part of Poole. So I'm right in the town centre pretty much.
We're 5 minutes away. So it's fine.
But it's only just down the road. And obviously the other arm of Endeavour that you've got is your safaris that you do.
Yes.
So what do you
Obviously, that's a bit more of a high-end product. Safaris is not a cheap holiday,
No.
Especially in Botswana, especially with the flights on top. But it is one of those holidays of a lifetime. It is. It blows my mind every time. I do have the pleasure of going when we visit the family, go out into the bush.
Yeah.
We specialise in the camping mobile safaris in Botswana, making it as accessible as it can be. Obviously, it is camping, but it's like posh camping, if you like. That's my wheels.
Oh, your wheels, is it?
And yeah, it's you're right there in the wilds of Africa, in the bush with no fencing around.
Wow.
Animals walking through, and just soaking up that atmosphere is special.
Yeah. What sort of brought that about? Because obviously with the house down here is somewhere that you wanted to live and then make a business, but why the safari side of it?
Through my husband. So Paul, I met, he very cliche, but he was my tour guide when I went on holiday actually to Cape Town on the garden route. With a good friend of mine, and we met and booked through Endeavour Safaris. They also do the tours there in South Africa, and again it was an opportunity for him coming and living across here. How we could connect his knowledge and expertise of taking people on safaris and tours in South Africa, and opening it up and making it possible for people here by promoting it here.
Oh, that's cool. And was that something that he did? So has it since been adapted to wheelchair users, or is that something that they had already?
He had already done, hence why we found it.
Yeah.
So the big USP in a sense is they've got the accessible safari vehicles with a lift on the side, so you can be accommodated in your wheelchair. And not need to transfer if you don't want to. And I've been working in the field of disability for over 15 years now, so they've got lots of experiences of making it as accessible as it can be, being Africa and being,
it's not accessible for people most of the time, let alone.
But their the willingness to get stuck in to help for the staff, just to help people out, it opens it up to a lot more people.
Yeah.
But they had been running before I knew them.
Has your insight helped them at all?
Yes, I do feedback, and I think they've taken on a lot through my experiences and others that we've been able to send out there. They're learning all the time, and the lodges are learning all the time. And they can always do more, but they, lots of changes every year often, personnel and stuff, so it's a continual process of education.
And so I was watching some things recently about the whole, there's a lot of poaching and stuff and that out there is, and how things like safaris can help fund against that sort of, help, because they employ people out there, which helps prevent poaching. And so, is that something that you guys are involved in at all to help?
Not directly involved, other than obviously promoting a more positive side of the wildlife in Africa. Actually, Botswana as a country, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It does, but they're a bit more on top of it than in some of the other African countries. To the extent that they've moved some rhinos from South Africa to Botswana to safeguard them, and they've got a good regime of protecting the wildlife. They don't get it right all the time, but unfortunately it's a constant battle, but they're better there than most.
That's good, yeah, because it's something that I've never been on a safari, I've never seen these things, but it does concern me, some of the, you've got to protect these animals. Because they're pretty amazing. And I can't even imagine what the difference would be like between a zoo, seeing these animals.
Well, it was funny, we went to Longleat last week, It's the first time I'd taken Paul, and he said, "Oh, I should go," because people talk about it to him, and he'd never been, never experienced it, and I'd never really promoted it because having done a safari, it doesn't compare. But we did it just so that he could experience it. Okay, you don't get koala in Africa, so that's a new experience. But yeah, it's a step change. Doing it for real out in the bush.
I bet. And it's amazing that you can help provide that opportunity for people that in the past maybe it might not have been.
May not have been on their wish list, but it still could be.
Yeah, that's great. And it's the first time I'm hearing about it as well. So
there you go.
Yeah. Maybe I have to save up the pennies. Yeah.
Save up your pennies.
Yeah. So
your honeymoon option.
Oh wow.
Out there.
Well, I'm sure Alice would love it. She loves animals. So.
There you go.
So that sort of covers yourself in